Now, yesterday, we reported on the SAMRO COO CEO Annabelle Lebethe confirming the precautionary suspension of SAMRO COO Mpho Mofikoe. And speaking to Ms. Lebethe, she said that the suspension of Ms. Mofikoe is actually as a result of a preliminary findings indicating potential internal transgressions. And she also added that Mofikoe's suspension would not affect the organization's operations. Let's take a look back on how that conversation ensued. Are you confirming these to not have any substance at all? I mean, these pertaining to common issues within the music industry where we often do hear of artists complain about their royalties.
Yeah, I think it's important maybe just to paint a picture in this way that Ms. Mofikoe had been working together with the members of the organization regarding a fraud investigation that had been commissioned by the board. There was a forensic audit that was initiated by the board sort of 2022, 2023 as a result of what was alleged to have been irregular claims for what we term in the industry, or at SAMRA specifically, undocumented works. So we sit with a pot of money that belongs to rights holders, and we want to pay out to rights holders, but for various reasons, we might not have specific details as to who those rights holders are. So the organization and members of staff had picked up that there were claims. So what would happen is that a member would go into this schedule, let me call it that, or register of works, and identify works that they believe belongs to them. And on the basis of that claim, SAMRA would then pay out. But it did transpire that some of those works, or some of those claims specifically, were for works that did not belong to the claimants. And that in itself then catalyzed the forensic process, where the board, rightly so, took a decision to stop the claims process, and also to initiate and institute a forensic audit, which we reported back to members at the AGM in 2023, and have subsequently kept members abreast of where we are with the implementation of the recommendations of that report.
All right, so this has absolutely nothing to do with the Fundudzi forensic investigation.
Indeed.
All right. And then, Annabelle, going forward, what's the next process since Ms. Mofikoe's suspension or precautionary suspension in terms of your internal procedural steps?
So obviously from a internal disciplinary process, we would need to investigate. And the reason for the precautionary suspension, as we explained to Ms. Mofikoe, is to allow that independent investigative process to run its course, where it may or may not determine that there are charges that Ms. Mofikoe has to answer for, but that will be concluded once the investigation is done. I do also want to indicate that that process in itself, I think, has to be respected, in that we have to respect the rights of every staff member in the organization in the manner in which those processes run and are treated. I think with the greatest degree of respect to the process and the individuals, but also with a great degree of compliance with what the requirements of our policies and processes are.
Well, following yesterday's interview with SAMRO's Annabelle Lebethe on the precautionary suspension of its COO, Ms. Mpho Mofikoe, more voices are now weighing in on the matter. And today, we're very pleased to be joined in studio by Mr. Tebogo Sithathu, who is the chairman of the United Civil Society in Action, as well as a member of SAMRO, who also wants to respond to the CEO's comments and also share his perspective on the unfolding developments. So, Tebogo, it's great to have you in studio with us. A very good afternoon. So, you've just seen the interview. Let's get your official response as United Civil Society to the SAMRO COO suspension, which you feel, in fact, is illegal.
She's lying. Let's start there. And let me also take the opportunity to thank the SABC for giving us a platform and make an appeal live on television. We will be writing a formal letter to the CEO. The SABC is one of the biggest music users that pays SAMRO millions of money that never reach the members. SABC should halt all payments from now henceforth up until we remove that board. That's
Where's the proof, Tebogo?
The proof is in, we've got proof every, like it's just that I couldn't bring paperwork here, but there's proof. Let's start here. in the last extraordinary general meeting, which we painstakingly forced to have, the board chairperson was jigging. Guess what? We had that meeting. The very forensic report that they had commissioned themselves.
The Fundadzi
yes.
Yes.
Guess what? 3 plus, for now, we know of 3 board members that are implicated. And we did something historical. We removed them. And the chair was actually standing between us removing them and telling us nonsense about the MOI, the Memorandum of Incorporation, that we are going against it. Imagine. And imagine a whole chairman presiding over a board, sitting on a board with implicated board members that his own forensic report has implicated, that they've stolen money. And to make matters worse, one of them has gone to the US. The boss of Share Publishing, David Alexander, has stolen close to 11 million. Why Mpho Mofikoe was suspended is one of the things that she's been raising. Why would you let this man go? And worse, they actually, the chairman and some board members have signed his visa. He's sitting pretty in a beach somewhere in the US.
Where are the official findings of the Fundadzi report?
They have them. In the last meeting, we demanded them, and they are refusing to give us a report. Guess what the reason is? The Hawks and the police say this matter is still under investigation. Over 2 years now. Over 2 years now. This is a clear, blatant cover-up of corruption. And then the chair was defending these board members, and they still won't give us a report. They presented a presentation about the report, selected information during the meeting, and they never, to this day, they are refusing to give us a report. I said to them, not even President Ramaphosa can refuse us our report. We as members have paid for that report. We demand that report. They still refuse to give it to us. By the way, happy Women's Day today and to all the women in South Africa.
Thank you, Tebogo. I mean, look, let's talk about this. This is a concerning issue because you also believe that 90% of the current board actually needs to be dissolved.
Absolutely.
Give us the reasons, because you've just mentioned the issue against the 3 board members
and the chair
and the chairperson that were actually part of this meeting.
Absolutely. One, I'll give you. The other one who's sitting there, she was actually on one of your platforms, SAFM. What audacity. You know, criminals have an audacity to talk too much. That woman, she's implicated. When she was at VES, there's a judgment against her. We've only just found out. I ask musicians, guys, how come these things have gone on for this long under our watch? But I'll tell you why. We have not been watching. So she's implicated. The board chairperson recruited her from BMF. He knows very well she's got a judgment against her. Yet she's sitting on our board. We've only just found out. She must go.
So, but Tebogo, look, let's shy away from...
That's just one of them.
All right.
All of them, except for the 3. People will soon find out who are the 3 that are not implicated. And 2 of them are fairly new onto the board. They found this mess already happening. SAMRO board has also been presiding over selling of the property of members. The parking lot in front of us as SAMRO, do you know that it's gone? We don't own it anymore. Student accommodation has been built there. Our own concept.
So there's systematic operational governance failures is what you're alluding to.
Governance has collapsed. I don't know what the CEO is talking about. So
Tebogo, look, just for us to protect ourselves, I think let's shy away from calling people criminals that we have not seen them being taken through the judicial process. But are you saying and confirming here that it's the board that is allowing all these shenanigans to continue unabated at SAMRO?
Absolutely. And we've reached out to the board. We've written numerous emails and letters to say, can we meet and resolve these things and see how we can
meet? What happens?
No, they refuse to meet us. And let me tell you, even now, we have a follow-up special general extraordinary meeting of members towards now end of August, early September. Guess what? They are now shifting unilaterally the chairperson of the board, not the entire board, the chairperson, the CFO and the CEO together, these 3 musketeers, they have now decided unilaterally to move our meeting to a virtual meeting when we usually have hybrid. Those who can join online, join online. What nonsense is that? We are going to dissolve the board because they are undermining us. And I told them, guys, this is not personal. The corruption at SAMRO has preceded you. It precedes you. All the other boards have fallen into the same trap. You are just administrators of monopoly capital, particularly from overseas, big publisher.
Tebogo, when I spoke to the COO yesterday about the suspension being based on a report that was citing potential internal transgressions against the now precautionary suspended COO and such, we could not get into details as you understand the nature of internal processes, right? So why do you actually believe, in fact, that the COO was suspended?
There's about a 17-page, between 11 pages, 17-page report. How do I know this?
Where is the report?
It's with the board.
How do we get access to all these very important documents?
They must give it to you. How do I know? I'm not sneaking around. We've got whistleblowers, but this one, it was revealed in our meeting, extraordinary general meeting of members. The chairperson asked the COO, who suspended unfairly and illegally, to speak on the issue of the investigation, because we've been demanding the report. Then when she spoke, she said, Chair, in front of members, I've submitted this report with the issues that I've got. You are conflicted. She even said it in front of us. You are not protecting me. You are not. Neither are you protecting the whistleblowers that are there. They are scared. This country is killing people that are doing good work. Then instead of dealing with the issues, they suspended. You know why they suspended her? The very same report implicates them, all of them, the CEO included. If anybody should be suspended, it should be this current CEO.
Look, I really hope you can furnish us with these reports.
It is there. I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you.
Because we can receive them via email.
Yes.
All right. And in terms now of this action to suspend the CEO, as of course the civil society in action, is there any countermeasures that you will undertake to protect her and also work to remove the current board and CEO?
In the next meeting, we are taking none of it that is going to be virtual. We want democracy to reign. We will be there. If they don't shift the meeting to be hybrid, we will not have that meeting up until they have it our way, which is the way of democracies. Number two, we are going to dissolve them. Whether they like it or not, their days are numbered, so that we can protect and reinstate the COO. She was suspended for blowing the whistle and for telling the truth and for doing the right things. The CEO has been pushing, is in writing, for her to be removed from the forensic case. The Hawks have said, no, she works with us, she can't be removed.
Okay, so the Hawks are also involved.
They are very involved.
In these investigations.
Yeah. And they said, no, you can't remove her. Even if you remove her from SAMRO, she will not be removed from the case. I went and spoke to one of the captains who's responsible for the case. So she's been moved because of there's a cover-up. And one of the things they said blatantly, they want to give those who stole money, guess what? Amnesty. You know what that means? When you give criminals amnesty, it means they cannot be prosecuted ever. So what nonsense? How can you have a board chairperson preside over your board and he's saying such things, protecting and defending corrupt people?
How are these monies being stolen, Tebogo?
It's very easy.
You spoke about the fact that, because I know we submit our timesheet in terms of the music that we use so that the artist can be reimbursed in such a regard.
Typical example.
Just give us a
David Alexander, he can come back. He must come back to South Africa and sue me. Just like the Guptas, he must come back. He stole close to 11 million.
And you've got proof of this?
I've got proof of that. The CEO, and it's part of that report, the CEO was pushing that let's just allow him to pay about 3 million rents.
All right.
So he's gone. He was changing names of composers in the different songs. That was the charge. This is how they steal money.
All right. Tebogo making a slew of allegations there. That is, of course, his views, not necessarily those of the SABC. Mr. Tebogo Sithathu there of United Civil Society in Action, of course, responding to the precautionary suspension of SAMRO COO Mpho Mofikoe.